I'm Larry Menti. This week on Jersey Matters, we come to you from Trenton. This is the Senate chamber. We were just upstairs a minute ago in the office of the Senate President, where we talked to Steve Sweeney about a number of things. Also, a noble effort in Bergen County. They are trying to eliminate homelessness among veterans. We'll tell you about that effort. It's all next because Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. Welcome to Jersey Matters. We are proud to be joined by, and by the way, we're coming to you from the conference room just outside the office of the President of the State Senate in New Jersey, Steve Sweeney. We're proud to be joined by him. Sir, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. You have a lot going on, and there's a lot of issues to get to. And normally I don't start with politics, but I think politics is a backdrop to just about everything we're about to talk about. So every article I read about every issue says that you're running for governor, or you're going to run for governor, or you want to be governor. And I want to start with that because it can be a backdrop to everything else. Do you want to be governor?
Look, right now, Larry, I'm looking to do my job. Am I looking at it? I wouldn't be honest if I said I wasn't looking at it. I'm looking at it, but I haven't made any decisions on it yet.
The important question with that is, does it affect what you're doing now, the fact that you want to be governor? Are you campaigning now?
No, actually, it makes it harder. You know, Larry, today we're dealing with an Atlantic City issue that's not popular. I'm the Senate President. I can't punt and I can't pass. I got to deal with it. So when you're sitting in positions of leadership, you have to lead. And others aren't in the same spot where I'm at, and they can, you know, you're doing something, everybody can criticize it on a regular basis. What we're doing today is open for criticism. The other day with Omnia Healthcare is open for criticism. You know, but I'm the leader of the Senate, and I can't just take a pass and do nothing for the next 2 years. Let's
deal with the issues that you brought up, a couple of them. Yeah. And let's start with Atlantic City, because today is an important day. There's going to be a committee hearing, right, about it, and you're going to vote it possibly out of committee. Don Guardian, the mayor of Atlantic City, says he's going to be here today and bring busloads of people. And on the table is the possible takeover, partial takeover, I should say, of Atlantic City, and especially when it comes to collective bargaining. Is it going to pass, do you believe, today?
I would expect it to pass. That's why I'm putting it up. Normally, you don't put a bill up as a leader of the House if you don't think it's going to pass. Look, the big problem with Atlantic City, Larry, is they don't have an end game here. You know, they've had years to come up with a plan to figure out the structural deficit and how they're going to reduce it. They've had years. And, you know, Don has done some things, and he's cut about 10% of the problem. It's not enough, Larry. We need to do dramatic and drastic things here. You can't raise taxes on the people of Atlantic City anymore. You know, I think the poverty rate in Atlantic City is 34%. Moody's just came out today. Moody's, they're not Republican or Democrat, and said if we don't pass these two bills, Atlantic City is in serious trouble. They say both bills need to be passed.
Don Guardian doesn't want it. The people in the state of New Jersey, according to a Rutgers-Eagleton poll, do not want it. They would rather Atlantic City just deal with their own problems. So what is your interest? Are you going to do this for every city that's in the same problems?
No, the problem we have right now is no one's in the situation like Atlantic City right now. I don't blame Don Guardian for losing 2/3 of the rateable base. I absolutely do not blame him for that. But the problem is we're out of money, and we need to fix it. Now, I think if they did a poll and said to the people of New Jersey, do you want to bail out Atlantic City financially? The answer would be no. But if you file bankruptcy in Atlantic City, you know, that was the first thing they started hollering about is bankruptcy, bankruptcy, bankruptcy. They file bankruptcy. It'll have an impact on several communities all throughout the state of New Jersey, and I have to worry about all of them. So just the fact that they threw out bankruptcy without even thinking about it sent shockwaves throughout the state. We have to do something here. You know, one of the councilmen that when I went to a closed session meeting said, don't be mad at him, they pointed to me. How come we haven't given them a plan on how we're going to fix this? Because they haven't. You know, even Don, he actually said in the press, which I've never heard a person say before, they can move the water company within the municipal government. That's what he said. And there's a report saying you could make $9 million. And he says, no, 5.5, because I'm not going to eliminate any jobs, even if they're redundant and duplicative. Come on. Larry, these are tough decisions that have to be made. Now's the time to be the leader. It's easy to holler and scream and fight. It's hard to lead. Now, this is the tough time, and Don needs to get on board and start leading instead of criticizing and name-calling.
I want to move on to a couple of things because there's another crisis situation, possible crisis. Maybe you can enlighten us as to if it is a crisis on the offset or not, and that is the New Jersey transit strike. The possibility, they have a deadline of Sunday. This show will be airing Saturday and Sunday, and there are talks going on today. Is there hope in those talks? Have you heard?
I certainly hope so. I haven't heard. I've been trying to stay in touch with both sides to find out what's going on. What we will lose, the economy will lose, the millions of dollars that will be lost by a transit strike isn't worth the small difference that they're haggling over right now. You know what I'm saying? That within one day, whatever they think they're going to save, they're going to lose. So hopefully both sides will get together pretty quickly, because you can't have a transit strike, especially in the northern part of the state, is so reliant on mass transportation. Our economy is linked to New York City. They said a transit strike would cost the New York economy $5.6 million an hour. So, we're talking big numbers.
And they've talked about chaos on the roads, 23-mile backups, a real problem if this isn't solved by Monday. You've criticized the governor for not taking control, for not being more hands-on.
He's had 5 years.
In the absence of him, can't you do that?
He's the governor. You have one governor, and this state has the most powerful governor in the nation. He's been given more powers than any other governor in the nation. We can urge people to sit down and talk. We can push people and try to push people to the middle.
And have you been?
Oh, I've been talking to both sides, yeah. But the bottom line is, without the governor, at the end of the day, you can't get it done. And we need him. He's had 5 years, Larry. This is going on for 5 years.
You just said a moment ago he has more power than most governors across the country. Has he been weakened because of his failed presidential bid?
No, Larry, he has more powers than all governors across the nation. He's the most powerful governor, not physically, by authority in the nation. And no, he has.
So it doesn't matter if he's low in the polls. It doesn't matter if he went through this.
He still has all the powers that he has. And when the governor first came into office, people were shocked because he used every single inch of the powers that he had. A lot of governors were afraid to use all the powers. He wasn't afraid to use all the powers. So hopefully, his administration, gets this over the finish line, because it will have a dramatic impact on the quality of life for the people of the state of New Jersey.
One power he has is to nominate Supreme Court justices. We'll talk more about that and the stalemate over the Supreme Court justice that has been nominated, David Bauman, when Jersey Matters continues.